Hello, my name is Roddy, and at the end of September of 2022, me and 11 others moved from the UK to Senegal. We would all teach English at various schools and lived all throughout the country. After a few days staying in a hotel on the coast, me and Donald moved into our room in a small town called Ndita.
Come in. Don's bed, my bed, clutch fan.
Immediately, the family who lived on the same floor as us invited us to eat lunch and dinner with them every day. We started to become friendlier with the family upstairs and downstairs. However, with my non-existent French and not many English speakers, it would be a while until I could really talk to anyone aside Don. Finny and I, who were living elsewhere, came to visit, and together we headed south to Joao Fadiu to see Alice and Ella, other volunteers. We slowly started to teach at the high school and took the children from our house to the beach for the first time and attempted to teach baby Abdullah to swim. Only after this outing did the kids stop being shy around us. The next weekend we used the newly built train to visit Dakar, the capital of Senegal, and took motorbike taxis for the first time to see the sights. We finally got our timetables for school and got more settled into our life. Alice and Ella visited Yen for the first time and we explored more of the town. Me and Don decided to go camping in the bush. We bought a mosquito net, 2 t-shirts and shorts each.
We're in a fallen over baobab tree, kind of vibes. Got some stale bread, some tomatoes, block of melted cheese and a bottle of whiskey for dinner. Solid.
We found a fallen baobab tree and fell asleep for a few hours before being far too cold to sleep, leaving camp at 3 in the morning. How's the munch?
Stupendous.
Stupid. By mid-November, my French and Wolof was improving, teaching was getting easier, and we really started to get settled in Yen, visiting Joao and Dakar most weekends. Senegal made it to the round of 16 in the World Cup, and the village was ecstatic. England then beat them 3-0. For the next week, I pretended to be Scottish. Mr. Ngay, an English teacher, invited us to lunch at his house for truly one of the best meals I have ever had.
Nice knife, bro.
I was funny to buy it. That was just so funny.
No?
For Christmas, we were meeting all the other volunteers in the south of Senegal. However, me, Don and Finn travelled through the Gambia, back into Senegal, and then into Guinea-Bissau beforehand.
Okay.
Taking a boat to the island of Boubaké and camping next to the beach. This was a truly adventurous Christmas holiday. Don's dad came to visit and we went on a very fancy weekend in the mangrove. 6 of us go camping in Njanda, and the girls hear people walking around outside the tent at night. It's still undecided if there were actually people there or not, but undoubtedly terrifying.
I think there's someone outside.
Camping in the bush is our new favourite activity, which is much more enjoyable now we have tents. Lily's parents came to visit, renting a house that fulfilled my lifelong dream of jumping from a balcony into a pool, albeit ungracefully. We visit the most western point of mainland Africa and Gore Island. The bike keeps breaking, we keep swimming nearly every day.
Oh, désolé, mon ami. Je prends une vidéo pour mon ami.
Teaching is becoming easier and more fun. Our Wolof keeps improving, along with it our relationship to the family at our house. Abdullah starts to actually talk. Him and Dada hang out in the room most days. We ruined Dowda's haircut after he begged us to use our clippers on him, resulting in a quick trip to the barber's.
Hello, hello.
Hello, what?
Allah Akbar, Akbar Sanallah.
We visit Lompol Desert in the cheapest way possible, sleeping on the beach and hiking out to see it.
That's definitely gonna pick it up. That's definitely gonna pick it up.
Malik, a local fisherman, becomes a very good friend. He has the hardest handshake I've ever felt, and we still send voice messages back and forth occasionally. Ramadan starts. We wake up and eat one bread roll at 5 AM and then go back to sleep. I experienced hunger like never before. For the next week or so, we ate peas and baguettes at 5 AM, then back to sleep, and ate next in the evening. The shared suffering was in a way beautiful, and the appreciation of breaking the fast was unmatched. With that being said, it was also terrible, and everyone was grumpy.
That is so good.
Me, Alice, Ella and Ben travelled to Guinea, only to discover that 7-seater cars in Senegal become 9-seaters in Guinea, leading me and Ben to share a front seat for half of a very long journey. We meet a man named Muhammad Ali, who was living in Dakar but visiting friends in Guinea. We made good friends after he joked he was dying in the boot of the car. We still keep in touch, and when I returned to Senegal last year, I stayed at his house. We stayed in tents most of the time in Guinea, and on our first day saw an entire cow's head in a bag.
Buying breakfast next to a cow's head in a bag on the floor.
We visited these massive waterfalls and stayed for 2 nights in our tent, swimming and climbing dodgy bridges.
And you would be the person that broke the bridge.
Before continuing to Conakry, the capital. We stayed at the Catholic Mission, doubling as the cheapest hotel in Conakry, and tried desperately to get our visa stamps without paying a bribe. This ended up unsuccessful. A few days on the neighbouring island Kassa involved losing all of our bags, sleeping in the commander's bungalow, and searching the snake-infested bush. I lost my drone and spare lenses, but we all had our phones and passports. Aside from this, the island was bloody lovely, and the people were even lovelier. Aside from some slightly corrupt policemen, we received immense kindness and welcoming in Guinea. We travelled back to Senegal the quick way in a shared 4x4 through the mountains. I still don't understand how that car made it up and down some of those paths, and have crazy respect for those drivers. We met other volunteers in Senegal for a more relaxing time, chilling at the waterfalls and hiking around. I was incredibly happy to return to Yen. Seeing the family again, chilling with Abdullah and Dauda was a welcome change in pace. While we were gone, the lady with the best breakfast in Senegal, Mama Yas, who we had been going to breakfast for daily, had become a grandma. Abdullah would join us on our evening trips to her shack to buy breakfast for the next day, as Ramadan was still going on. We started surfing in Dakar and going to the local gym more regularly. Ramadan ended, and Korite, the celebrations, were nyachna, to say the least. We visit Saint-Louis in the north for the jazz festival and saw some cool stuff and stayed in some questionable accommodation.
And I got woken up by a goat, like, screaming. Not outside the house, inside the house.
My friend Harry comes to visit. We spend the next 2 weeks exploring, camping, and he delivers me a new drone.
Yeah. Bloody hell, look at that. Look at that. Oh!
Eid comes around and the goats are slaughtered and prepared. It's still probably the greatest food that I have ever had. We travel up to Mauritania and explore Nouakchott, the capital, before heading inland to an oasis in the Sahara. In our final week, me and Alice walk along the coast for 75 kilometers in the humidity of August summer, and with only a few days left, we start to pack everything up and say goodbye to everyone. It feels surreal and deeply sad to leave. I have made friends for life here, and since leaving, have returned once to Senegal. Definitely not for the last time.
Ready?
The country and the memories I made in it will always be special to me. I don't think it's possible for any other period of time to be so formative, exciting, challenging, interesting, and fun.